Welcome back to the channel for the next color and chat. You voted for Johanna Basford Magical Worlds and also this page with the hair. And this is what we're going to be coloring in this video. I will be using my Black Widow pencils, and you can see I have put some washi tape here because I probably want to do something with the background, but more about that later. My name is Katja. I'm CatColouring. Grab your copy of Magical Worlds and your Black Widow pencils, and let's get coloring. I always begin, before I begin coloring, with either some research with reference photos, or sometimes I go to Pinterest to find the page I want to color, to see how others have colored the page, to get an idea of what I would like to do or what I would not like to do. And I did find this page, well, in several versions, and all of the versions had some sort of pale background, either a sort of spring-like morning sunrise background or a green background with all of these. And one in particular had a sort of hill, and then some, I think it would have been trees, and then a sky up here. And I even saw one that had a moon behind the ears of the hair. You can see we have all of these stars. So I would like to go for a night sky and dark colors instead of all of these light pastel colors that a lot of other people have used. And this is just, you know, me. I think that I would like to do a very different version of this page than others have done. As I said, I will be using my Black Widow pencils, and as I have all of the sets, I will be using pencils from different sets. So from the Cobra set, I will be using the opal green for some dark green on the ground down here. For the sky, I will be using from the Black Widow, that's the one with the spider, the Starry Night, and from the Scorpion set, the Galaxy Blue, for the darkest part up here. Okay, so let's just begin with the opal green. And I'm just trying to, you know, find out how much of the green I want. And see, the star begins here on this side, so I think that we will just, I will just push it up a little bit. Just have to move some things around. So now I think you can see the bottom. I just noticed that we have doors in these mushroom houses, so perhaps we should make some paths leading up to these little mushroom houses. And well, we have to concentrate just a little bit because there are so many details and lines here that I really need to make sure that I get it sort of right. I do have a line here, but I think it's perhaps just, you know, for the flower as a stem. So I will just continue to color with the opal green over here. So I think it's okay if we have sort of a line around here, perhaps a little bit higher, and also over here. Yeah, so that was the opal green. And now we have these paths here, and I hadn't thought about it, so I will immediately grab my color family chart the one from Color with Claire and look at my brown colors. And since it's dark, I don't think I will use a very light color. Perhaps I think mahogany is too dark. Olive brown will be too light. Oh, perhaps the castle. Oh, and this is great because where is the castle? That is actually one of the problems with having so many coloring pencil in a set. I have a huge pencil case, and I have put them down in the order that they are with the color family chart, but it still doesn't make it that easy to find them. This is from the dragon set, the castle. I do think that this is perhaps a little bit of a dark color, so I will just give it a light layer with the castle, and then I will take a lighter color and put it on top and blend it. So that was the castle, and then perhaps it's really not easy. Olive brown, here it was. We will just take the olive brown and blend it on top. Okay, so now for the sky, and I will just be using Starry Night probably for most of it, and then just the galaxy blue up here at the top. So this drawing was very popular. I think it was 42% who voted for this particular drawing in the community post vote on my channel. And also Magical Worlds. I think it was Magical Worlds and then Small Victories that were in the top, but most people wanted Magical Worlds. Which makes sense because it's also her latest book. But she does have a lot of books coming out in the next, well, a little less than a year. Here in, I think it's October, we have Colorful Wildflower. I have pre-ordered that. And then we have Inklings, which is not a Small Victories, but a book like Small Victories, which is that little format of a coloring book. With again drawings in, I would almost say bite sizes, so you can take the book with you, like with Small Victories, and color a little bit here and there. I really do enjoy coloring in Small Victories, but you know, I have so many other projects that I don't really color in as often as I used to. I know that quite a few people have finished the coloring book, but I also know that a lot of people, they buy the same coloring book and then they color them over and over again. So a lot of people have at least 2 copies of each of the coloring books that they have. And well, I suppose it makes sense. I mean, if you want to practice in the first one, and then as you get more practiced, you get better, and then you would want a completely new version to do even better in. But of course, you could also say that, well, you don't have to be perfect when you're coloring. I mean, this is, for some people, a hobby. For other people, it's a necessity in this really busy life that we lead. To color. I know that when I have busy periods in my life, then I certainly get really cranky if I don't have enough time to sit and color. And with that, not just videos for the channel, but you know, just sit and color for myself. So the less time I have for coloring, the more cranky I get. Oh yes, but back to the coloring book. She also has another one. It was a box set of cards with both drawings and then positive quotes. And that will be out in, was it March next year? And I think that Inklings would be out during the winter. Well, I haven't pre-ordered Inklings yet. I think that I do have enough time to pre-order it. But the box set with the positive thinking cards, I'm not quite sure that I want to order that because, well, I know it's Johanna Basford, but quite enough coloring books, so many that perhaps I have begun thinking that perhaps I should choose more carefully when I buy coloring books to be sure that they really are coloring books I want to color in and not just for a collection. You know, the danger when you are a colorist is that sometimes you become a collector and for some a hoarder instead of just, you know, having a couple of sets of coloring pencils and then just use them in a couple of coloring books. So I have almost everything of, for example, Hanna Karlsson. I think there is one called Winter Nights, which is a postcard book. I'm not quite sure. I don't have that. But all of the others she has made, I have those. And I think also all of Maria Trolles, except the children's books she has illustrated. I don't have those. And with Johanna Basford, I also have everything that she has published until now. But I have begun, especially after Magical Worlds came out, to think that I'm not quite sure that I just want to buy everything Johanna Basford makes. I mean, there has been a lot of years since her first books, and of course, as an illustrator, you do develop your style. And change your style also. And, well, I mean, I like some of the drawings in Magical Worlds, but I do think that in this huge coloring books, there are way too many pages like this of vignette pages. Then we have some space pages. I think that someone challenged her, and then she did. I think there was one page in Small Victories, and then she has continued with them. This is one of the pages I really like. That was also up for vote, but not many people voted for that page. Again, space and a weird sort of drawing. And again, a vignette page. And then we have these with a lot of space around us or around this motif. So there are so many backgrounds to color. Otherwise, you just have a motif, color it, and then the rest is just this sort of grayish paper. Again, a vignette page or a collection of small drawings. I mean, honestly, what I liked about her first coloring books, to get back to the hair and coloring here, I really like that they, oh, I almost forgot. Perhaps I should switch to Galaxy Blue to lay down some of the dark color up here. Well, one of the things I really liked about her first books, like Secret Garden and Enchanted Forest. Well, Enchanted Forest, I think, is absolutely brilliant because it's a story, and you know, color the drawings, but they also tell a story about this map, and that you have to find all of these little cards and put them together, reach the hidden castle, and match all of these cards on the door to get access to the secret of the castle, which is, of course, a double page with the 2 dragons that you color in the end. Absolutely wonderful. I really like coloring books where you have sort of a quest. With Lost Ocean, although there were so many pages with tiny, tiny details, so it's also one of the books I, well, love to hate some of the pages in. But it was also fun because those books always had some sort of a mission. Can you find 50 sorts of fishes and 3 eels and, you know, stuff like that. Also with Secret Garden, and there were pages where you could add your own, you know, color. And then she stopped with, you know, the books with you could draw yourself. I think Magical Jungle still had that you could find certain things, but that was it. And later on, it's just, you have, you know, the title page, the name page, and then an introduction and top tips for coloring, again with coloring pencil, glitter gel pens, and that's it. So there are no quests left in her books, and I really miss that. I think it was really, you know, a, what can we say, a mark of this is a Johanna Basford book. You have a quest, you can search for different things, or you can add your own things to the pages. And, well, of course, with all of these background, you could add, but it's a bit different than the older books, and I really, really like them. And I think that was a part of the success she had with the older books and why she became such a huge name, because these were so much different from other books, coloring books. And also she was a part of, you know, starting the trend, but her books were also are always so different from other books. I mean, you don't find those quests really in a Maria Trolle book or in a Hanne Carlsen. I know in Daydreams there are a couple of pages where you can make your own motifs on a fish and a butterfly or something. I have that book, I just haven't colored in it yet. That was really the attraction with Johanna Basford books when she first started out. So I think that this is the part that we want to color with the galaxy, and of course also here. And this is as far as I want the darkest color. So we will just color the rest with the Starry Night. So I'll just color a little bit, and then I will of course cut, and then you can color the rest of the background yourself, and then we can move on with the rest of the drawing. Well, as I was saying, I think that COVID did help Johanna Basford quite a lot. I remember during some of the lockdown periods where she would sit and color, I think it was in a period daily, and then quite often, at least once a week, perhaps more, with us live on Facebook. And that was so enjoyable. Listening to her talk and sometimes answer some questions. You can write to her and then just sit and color, and know that hundreds and thousands of other people did the exact same thing together with you, so you weren't alone. And also COVID and all of the lockdowns made a lot of people, well, feel really miserable, and coloring was one of these hobbies that became not just a hobby but life-changing during the pandemic, because it really helps people, you know, and it still does. So I think that's one of the reasons why Johanna Basford has grown so really huge in the coloring community as an illustrator. That, and of course her books, but her style has also changed. And I mean, since she made Small Victories, because she did talk a lot about, well, you know, to accomplish little things when you lead a busy life and you don't have enough time for coloring. I think that was one of her inspirations for Small Victories and all of these pages with all of these small drawings or vignettes or what it is. Personally, I really like her older books where you also have the wallpaper pages, you know, to continuously just coloring the same over and over is also quite meditative. And is also quite relaxing. I know it's not for everyone, but it certainly is for me. Whoops. Oh, now I have to find my little eraser. Okay, so I think that's enough of me coloring the background. I will just cut and then we will move on with the drawing when I have colored the rest of the background. Time to color some of the greenery. I have here different sorts of colors from the Scorpion set, Green Grass. Really nice to put some color down. And here I don't want to, you know, blend and stuff. I just press hard. So all of these sort of grass or whatever it is colored with this green grass. Oh, but Johanna Basford is not the only one coming out with new coloring books. It's like it's just exploded. Maria Trolle will be out with 2 new coloring books here in the autumn. We have her book called Seasons, and not unlike Hanne Carlsen's Seasons, it is a coloring book with the seasons, but also with, you know, some of the celebrations of the seasons, like Christmas and Halloween and Midsummer. So it's not just, you know, spring and autumn and summer and winter, but some of the things we celebrate during those. Probably also St. Lucia in the winter, because it's quite huge in Sweden. And then she also has a Christmas coloring book coming out. I think it's in November. So this is really very exciting. I have had, you know, since I bought Stjernfall, which I have made and have finished, and you can watch it on my channel if you like, because it's up there as a completed video. I do think that some of the drawings, the style that she has evolved to, it's very simplistic, very simple drawings, and not those huge beautiful drawings she made in the beginning, and that's not really for me. So I had thought about not buying her new books, but then I bought Sagan because it was about fairy tales, and that's all right. So this season's book, because I really like the Hanne Carlsen seasons, and I like, you know, coloring. I had just forgotten a little bit there. You know, I like coloring all of these nature seasonal things. So I have pre-ordered that, and I have also pre-ordered the Christmas book. And this is because I don't have a lot of Christmas books. I have. Let's find another color. Let's find a dark color like the Wizard. That was not Wizard. That was also not Wizard. Here it was, from the Dragon set Wizard. To these sort of, well, they're not rose leaves, but as I said, I have Johanna Basford's Christmas, Johanna's Christmas. I have it in, and that book I really do have. I have it in 3 copies: the English and the American, and the Danish. And the Danish I have completed, but the other ones I haven't. So I really, really like, you know, for Christmas and during the month of December, coloring Christmas. And I have Hanne Carlsen's God Jul, which is absolutely brilliant. So when Maria Trolle comes out with a Christmas coloring book, of course I have to have it. So that was a no-brainer. And I don't really have a lot of Halloween coloring books. So Hannah Carlson comes out here in August with her new book, which is called Halloween. And I absolutely would like to have that. So I have pre-ordered that. As soon as I found out it came, I pre-ordered it. Let's use the turquoise from the Scorpion set for the rest of these thorny leaves, or from this plant with the flowers and the thorns. I do think that we will need a dark red for the thorns. I always think that thorns are not usually that green. They're usually dark red of some sorts, or red brown or something. So the Halloween book, and we only have a little over a month before that comes, and of course I will make a flip through of it and here on my channel. So I am really excited. I actually think I made a mistake. I think this is one of these leaves, so I will have to find another color for that one. Okay, I will just look for a really dark, brown bug. Brown bug is sort of evil red, not that one. Brown bug is such a, here it is. It's sort of a red brownish color, so that is absolutely perfect for these little thorns. Brown bug is from the Scorpion set. Okay, I don't think that we have any plants with thorns. Okay, so the tiny leaves here, what will I color those with? I think the green glow from the dragon set. Let's add a little touch of green glow here. And you can see that I have chosen some dark colors because, again, I want it to be fairly dark. Let's use the Fang Green. That is from the Black Widow, the spider set. Fang Green. And I will just give these leaves a little color. Oh, and we also have one over here. And then just also color the stem, of course. I do think I want another color to blend this out with. But what should that be? Perhaps leaf green would be a good color. So olive green, that was not it. Ah, here it is. Leaf green, just next to it, from the Monarch set, leaf green. So let's color on top with the leaf green. Fang green and leaf green. And then, of course, there are a lot of other illustrators coming out with coloring books. I know that there are some people here on YouTube, they make videos where they come with all of these coloring news on books, but they include everything. Also, a lot of the coloring books that I don't buy. I don't have any of those cozy books, not because I don't want to, but I haven't really found something that was really interesting. I did find one, and I haven't bought it yet, but it was something with tiny gardens or something. It was quite cute, And, you know, since I love coloring flowers and gardens, I thought perhaps that was something for me, because a lot of those cozy books, they are about animals or people and cozy girl and cozy corner and stuffed animals and all that. And that's not really my thing, you know, coloring. It's not what I really, really want to color. And that's why I haven't bought any of these books. Not because I'm opposed to that, but because if I buy a coloring book, it should be something that I would really like to color. You know, if you know what I mean. Okay, the turquoise and venom. I think that we need some more here. Let's take the turquoise for these leaves. And I make it just simple down here when we color these leaves. I lay a base layer of some dark color in the middle, which is the turquoise, and then I will of course put another color on top, and that will be perhaps fizz, I think. I think that venom will not be the same. I think they are sort of the same leaves over here. There's no reason to, you know, use a ton of color combinations. If you have chosen a few that really works, then stick with those. So I will just find the fizz. Here it's also from the Dragon set Fizz. And you can see now that we color on top and blend it, that we get a very lovely dark sort of tealish green. Well, enough about coloring books and illustrators. Let's talk about holidays. Are you going on holiday? Write it down in the comments if you are going and where you are going. I can tell you that I am going to Iceland. And yes, I am so looking forward to it. It's my third holiday in Iceland, or the third trip, because the first was work related. I was there in 2014 with my work. All of my colleagues, my fellow Danish teachers, we went on a sort of field trip 5 days to Iceland in the beginning of August, and it was just so great to be on Iceland. Unfortunately, I had an accident when I was there. The first time I fell and twisted my ankle, so I had really trouble walking the entire time when we were there. It just hurt so much, and I had to borrow a bandage from one of the others because I hurt my ankle. So that was really a bummer, but otherwise it was a great trip, really great trip. I loved it. I loved being there. I have venom somewhere. That was green glow, so that was green grass, green glow. I haven't used green glow really for those tiny. Let's use green glow here, and let's just, you know, sharpen it a bit because this is really tiny. Let's use green glow here, and green glow was from the Dragon set. But we went to see the Golden Circle. I remember there were so many, either it was Japanese or Chinese tourists, that it was difficult to see the waterfall because there was a ton of tourists in front of us. And the geysers and Thingvellir, the national park where they had their parliament more than 1,000 years ago. It was brilliant. And it's quite striking and amazing because Iceland decided to become Christian on the parliament. So the parliament chose that the entire population on the island should switch to be Christians and not heathens anymore. So that was certainly a democratic decision. If you were, fond of Christianity. If you were a heathen, it was not a good decision, of course. But eventually people did become Christians on Iceland. Let's also use it for these smaller leaves. And I think that was it with the leaves here. Those are just flowers. Oh, we have some smaller leaves here. Let's also give them the green glow. And perhaps a couple of the stems here and there. And I don't think that we have any more of these leaves. More leaves. So we still need the rest of the leaves. And I have a color I haven't used, but I just can't find it right now. It's Venom. I really like that color, so I would like to use it. But, here it was. Venom. So I think that the leaves up here, they could easily be colored with Venom. I think that we will use a darker color. Let's use Wizard. Let's give them a bit of a dark color in the middle. Okay, so here we have a huge leaf. Well, apart from Geysir and all that, we were also on a guided tour around in Reykjavik, the capital, and then I went to a museum. I'm using Venom now, by the way, to a museum, a settlement museum, and it evolves around an excavation of some of the first findings of settlement in Iceland, in Reykjavik. And it's amazing because you go sort of underground and then you see the rest of this, the stones that were used to build the house and the fireplaces and so on. I really, really love that exhibition. Small museum in a side street. I really love it. So if you ever go to Iceland, to Reykjavik, then be sure to visit that settlement museum. And we also went to another one. I think it's down by the harbor. There was an exhibition about the Vikings and so on. And then they have, audio guides, and you get them, and then you hear all of these things from the sagas and the storytelling while you go around looking at the wax figures and other things in the exhibition. And then, of course, we were out. I was out with two colleagues to watch whales in the fjord, and that was absolutely brilliant, except for one of my colleagues got so seasick, so he was almost he almost fell into the water from the boat. So I had to grab him and hold on and watch over him while he was really sick, to prevent him from falling into the water and drowning. I've never seen anyone so seasick as him. And afterwards, he returned home to sleep on the hostel where we lived, and I went out to have lunch with my colleague. I didn't get seasick at all. But boy, he was really, really seasick. But the second time I was in Iceland was in 2018 with my husband and my 3 children, and they were little then, and now we're going this year, and now they are big. But that time we also went, to see different things. And amongst them, we went for a drive where we drove around the coast and saw a lot of different things. A volcano, where you can go all the way up to the crater. And we saw seals, and we saw just a lot of nature things. And it was so beautiful because Iceland is such a beautiful island. And I can really, really, really recommend going to Iceland. And now that back then my children were small, so now they are grown-ups, or almost grown-ups. My eldest is 21 and my son is 17 and my youngest is 15. So they are much bigger now than they were then. So this is really great what we can do. I will just look for a color because I am looking for a color called Forest, which is a really dark color. This looks like oak leaves and I want them to be quite dark. And again, if this was a day scene, of course, you can color them in lighter colors and make a lot of highlights and stuff, but I don't want a day scene. This is one of these pages where I really think this deserves to be a night scene. So the difference from this time to the other time where in 2018 where we went to Iceland is that back then we went on some bus trips and stuff, but now we have rented a car and we're going to drive ourselves. So that will be really exciting because we are going to see a lot of different, again, nature related things, waterfalls and the Black Beach down south where they have these icebergs in the water. And up north in Borgarnes and further north and to the west. So we are going to see a lot of different things. So I think that when I'm on vacation, I will post small videos and pictures on my Instagram, perhaps also here on YouTube, but definitely my Instagram. So if you want to follow along, then follow me on Instagram. I'm just CatColouring there also, and then you can follow my journey to Iceland. Okay, just a little bit of a color here. I do think that we will just take the leaf green yet again to add a lighter color here. So yeah, I am so looking forward to coming on Iceland. Absolutely brilliant. Oh, this is just great. I love all of these dark colors that I have chosen for this night scenery. So that was all of the greenery. I think, oh, well, except for the flowers and stuff here on the mushrooms, but I will not color those just yet. So I have decided that to prevent this video from being too long, also because it takes me a lot of time to edit long videos, I will take this as a two-part video. So the first part is this one with the background and all of the greenery, and then it will not be as long. And then I will film the rest as a part 2, and then you can watch it also, because then I have 2 videos to put up on my channel while I'm away on holiday in Iceland. Thank you so much for watching this first part of the color along. The second part will be up shortly after the first part has been published on the channel. Please give this video a thumbs up, a like, really does help my channel. If you're new here, consider subscribing, check out the playlist on my channel and see if there is something to your liking. So until I see you in the next video, have a lovely holiday and summertime, and take care of yourself also while you are having a wonderful holiday and summertime. Happy coloring. Bye.